All right, this is John Krasinski, Pittsburgh Soccer Now. It's the regular season finale for the WPIAL. In fact, tomorrow Wednesday will be playoff bracket release date. So we just wrap up the regular season with our last featured match. And today it was Belle Vernon went to Trinity in girls 3A action and came away with a 5-3 win. And it was another girls game for our featured matches on Pittsburgh Soccer Now. That was a high scoring affair. And so I'm going to get right to Tracy Lovett, head coach at Belle Vernon's with me right now. Tracy, it seems like I think you guys have scored over 100 goals this year. Trinity scored probably close to 60 or 65 or so goals.
Yeah.
It was a matter of, you guys got off just to a great start, and I think that was definitely enough to hold off.
Right.
Pretty high scoring game there.
Yep. When we saw them the first time, we won 6-2, and we came out real strong in the first half, and I believe at half it was 4 or 5-1. So it was kind of a similar game. 6-2 that time, 5-3 this time. I thought our first half, we really had the field tilted our way. And I thought we stayed connected, and I thought we kept our shape, and we were very calm and patient, and we didn't force anything, and the chances were there. Truly we could have had several more. I thought their keeper made a couple really nice, great saves on some of our shots in the first half. So I expected them to come out a little differently today than the first time we played them. They looked better today, at least in the second half to me. I thought they were a lot more physical today than when we, played them the first time. And I think second half that kind of took us off our game a little bit. So, because when we played them the first time, I don't remember that level of physicality in the game.
Well, and I was looking at Ed Thompson's photos from tonight's match.
I saw those.
Some really, just great.
Those are some great action photos and photos of, the girls getting knocked down and knocked around. And it showed what a physical game it was, in the photos. It captured it very well.
Yeah. And obviously, you've got the type of players that can finish. Sometimes, you can get up and down, you can play forward, and you can be aggressive, but now that you've gotten into what would you call not a usual full season, but it was a sprint, modified sprint,
condensed.
Obviously your goal scorers tonight were Farrah Reeder, Izzy Larita scored a pair, or Farrah and Izzy both scored a pair, and then Morgan Endenschoffer scored as well. These are players I know, Izzy and Morgan have gotten a lot of notoriety, but, just maybe tell us about your attacking options for your squad.
I'm very blessed in that sense, attacking wise. I have 4 players right now, actually, in double digits. I have Jill Butchguy, who's leading the team in 27 goals. She didn't score tonight, but she had a pair of assists. And her role actually tonight was more of the target, and I knew she would be marked, and she was. So she really did well, adapting to just holding the ball, laying it off, and creating offensive opportunities for our other scorers. And like I said, I have 4 girls. I have Jill with 27. I have Izzy right now with 20, Izzy Larita. Morgan Einshofer has 19 goals, and Farrah Reeder has 17. So I have 4 girls now, with pretty impressive numbers. I have other girls who've scored too, but those are my 4 in double digits right now. When you have 4 players like that, it puts you in a pretty nice spot. To be able to generate a lot of offensive chances. But occasionally, too, it gets a little tricky because there's only one ball to go around, as you know. So, we have a lot of girls who can finish and put it in the net. So, it's really just about those 4 working together and keeping their shape and staying connected, and also, being a little unselfish at times, too.
Absolutely. Now, you finish up tonight. I mean, obviously you said the bus ride back was a little subdued. I think the girls are probably pretty tired. It's been just
It's a
your
whirlwind of
thoughts
a
on this
season.
season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of a crazy season. I mean, we normally have 18 games, and sure, we only had 16, but they were condensed and rushed, it seemed. We had a team cancel on us on Saturday, so we lost that game. But it seemed like our games were so condensed. We had a period in an 8-day period, we had 6 games. So, it was wow. I mean, that week was pretty rough. The girls are a little banged up. But you expect that by the end of the season anyway. But it's just been such an unprecedented, unique season. And, in all my years that I've been involved in soccer, I would have never thought that, a pandemic would have been here and would have affected, the sport so much as it has. But, like everything's just so different, the way you practice, the way you handle your drills and working on skills and the formation and having to try and be COVID friendly and being very conscious about that at all times. I've been a nurse for over 20 years, so I'm in the medical field. So, I have that background too. So I'm always, trying to think in that mode as well.
Well, you certainly then prepared in terms of knowing, protocols. I mean, we're all physically distancing, but then when you're dealing with wearing masks and wearing PPE and things like that, I mean, sure, you're probably a good resource for a lot of people within the soccer program, at least.
Yep. Yeah. So.
Wow. So, and I just wanted to add too, just anybody who's watching this and sees you in the background, it's like, what's going on with that field there? That is your home field at Belle Vernon, better known as the beach, right?
Yes, it is. Pretty cool field.
Well, we have to make it out there. I know Ed Thompson has done a lot of photos out there, but we haven't been out there for a game of the week. So maybe next year that would be.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be nice.
That would definitely have to happen. I might have to see that for myself. That's such a cool.
It's really cool. It's a gold field. It's so different from any other field. Yeah, really neat.
Now, so we're heading into playoff time. You're the first coach I'm talking to. Probably tomorrow I'll end up talking to a bunch of coaches, but just your thoughts heading into the playoffs and really where you feel, 3A is just very interesting as far as the girls go. Last year, obviously you've got Mars and Plum and you got some really great teams, but I mean, coming out of your area, you've got some high scoring teams and all of a sudden Connellsville undefeated this year. You played them twice, you played them tough. So what are your thoughts overall on what's going to happen in 3A girls?
I think 3A is a very strong, I think 3A is pretty strong team-wise and player-wise. You get a lot of good players coming from 3A, a lot of collegiate, level players and girls being recruited. Last year we ended up going to the semifinals and we lost to Mars 2-0. It wasn't a bad game. I was actually pretty proud of the way we played them. We gave them one of their best games. Definitely their closest games, even in all their state games. They were winning 6-1, 7-1, in the PIA rounds. So we gave them a pretty good game. And, I was proud of how well we did. That was my first season last season as a head coach. So, but I was no stranger to Mars because when I coached with Paul Sasko all those years, we actually saw Mars, even then. They're just one of those powerhouse programs that are really hard to compete against. So, I looked at Mars and Plum and, you have Oakland Catholic and West A, but you can't count us out in Connellsville. Connellsville dropped from Quad A, this year to Triple A, and they were a Quad A playoff team last year. So, they're doing really well. They've not been scored on. We gave them their only real close game of the season, when we lost in the 100th minute in double overtime when they came to us. So, in my opinion, I think 3A is pretty tough all around. So it should be a pretty competitive playoff season, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, I actually, I kind of feel that way. It's interesting because Mars, as good as they are, and they will be, everybody will consider the team to beat, but knowing that you played them pretty tough last year, I think that should bode some confidence for your group. But obviously it's going to be one game at a time. And
Right.
Any idea, like in terms of what you're anticipating? I forget what you guys were high. I mean, you won your section last year, correct?
Last year we were undefeated and won
Right.
it, and I think we had a 4 seed last year.
But
I'm thinking we're going to be 5 or 6
mhm,
this time, which is fine. No matter which side you end up on, you got Mars, you got Plum, you got your high, top teams. We just take it one game at a time, it, and I believe we could go far. So, in my mind, we tackle one game and then we look to the next. And I have faith in our team. I think we have a pretty solid team, not only offensively. We have a really nice defense in midfield too. So, we're ready.
you're ready. We're ready. I'm ready I can't wait for tomorrow. I better
Mhm.
get some rest and busy day again tomorrow. But very exciting time of year for all people involved with soccer, and we're just like you said earlier, we're all very fortunate that a lot of these young soccer players, boys and girls in our region, have been able to complete, for the most part, complete a season. There have been some hiccups in some schools that have had to deal with COVID, and some that are dealing with it now, unfortunately. But as a whole, I think it's been a pretty good season, and I think a lot of people would agree.
I agree. At the beginning of the season, well, in the summer, I was wondering if we would even get to the season. Now here we are at the end of the regular season, ready to enter, the postseason. And like you said, some teams are seeing some hiccups, but I'm just really happy that we're here because I know the players really wanted to play. I really wanted this season, especially for the seniors. How devastating it was, I know, in the spring for those athletes to lose their senior year. So I was really, really hoping we got this season. And, we had Jill Butchguy, our one player, she was able to get to 100 goals 2 games ago. She
Mm-hmm.
got to her
Saw that.
100th
Mm-hmm.
goal. And, that would have never happened if we didn't have a season. And so, things like that, they're just such big moments that you never get back. And just the memories in general that you make in soccer and high school sports. So, I still have some very fond memories when I played high school soccer. So I'm really pleased we got the season and we're ready for the postseason. So we'll just see who we draw and take it one game at a time.
All right. Well, it sounds good. Thanks so much for your time. I
You're welcome.
really, really appreciate it, and looking forward to the playoffs. And
Yep.
I'm sure we'll talk again
Mhm.
soon.
Okay. Thank you,
All right.
John.
Thanks,
All
Tracy.
right.
Have a good night.